Hey everyone, it's Tom Trush from PowerfulMarketingMaterials.com with another quick tip for you. Today I'm going to give you 7 ways to get more responses from your marketing materials. Now before we get into the tips, here's one thing to keep in mind, and that is even if you create the most compelling copy that grabs eyeballs, it's very unlikely that you're going to get many responses unless you include an often overlooked piece in the persuasion process, and that is the call to action. It's amazing how many marketing materials I see that don't have any type of call to action on them. If you want your prospects to do something, then you have to give them direction. And keep in mind, asking for a sale is not your only option. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go into the 7 ways to get more response from your marketing materials. And the first one is you have to identify the problem. So the content leading up to your call to action should explain and in many cases even agitate the problem that you know your prospects are having. That way, once they get to your call to action, it will seem like it's a very welcome solution and it's the obvious choice. So number 2, you need to construct a compelling offer. So this basically involves you need to know what your prospects want, and then you have to be willing to give them something that meets that desire. So number 3 is to start your call to action with an action verb. And that's something like call, request, get, something that, some kind of action verb. And the reason I give this tip is because far too often I see call to actions that begin something like, if we can help, if you want to learn more, if you're interested, stuff like that. It's just fluffy material that makes it so that you're not stating your call to action confidently. So be confident in stating your call to action. Tell those prospects exactly what you want them to do. Number 4 is to explain the benefits of responding to your call to action. And basically, your prospects are skeptical, so you have to tell them what they'll get and what they'll experience by taking you up on your offer. Now, this also leads into explaining to your prospects what they'll miss out on if they don't take action on your offer, because in many cases we want something that we know we can't have. So by telling people what they're going to miss out on if they don't take action, it will make your offer more appealing. Number 5 is you have to present a single step in your call to action, because when you overwhelm your prospects with choices, confusion, it'll often lead them to do nothing at all, and that's not what you want. You want them to take some type of action step, so make it a single step and make it easy for them. Number 6 is that you have to contrast your call to action with color and avoid clutter. Basically, this means when you have your call to action on your marketing piece, you need to make it very visible. You need to make sure there's plenty of white space around it so people do see it. Maybe it's doing a slightly larger font. On websites, often the call to action, a very visible place, is going to be somewhere in the upper right of the screen. So the key here is just make sure that call to action is very visible so that your prospects, they don't miss it. And then finally, you have to make your request reasonable. Your opportunity for action, it declines as you put more obstacles in front of your prospects. So if you require your prospects to give you personal details to take you up on your call to action, then make sure that you're only asking for information that you need. Don't overwhelm them and make them give you addresses, dogs, pet dog's name, all this stuff, and that's obviously exaggerating, but make sure that you're only getting information that you need. And oftentimes the first call to action, you may just want to ask for an email address. That's pretty easy to do. So don't overwhelm them by asking them to fill out a bunch of different information, because that's going to make it more likely that your prospects won't take action on your call to action. And keep in mind, if you have a very lengthy marketing piece, you're going to want to repeat your call to action many times. Don't just put it in one place. Repeat it often so, again, your prospects don't miss it. And then the last note is to keep in mind that if your prospect's initial action isn't a major step in your selling cycle, don't worry about it, because as prospects respond more to your marketing materials, their loyalty to you will grow, and they'll likely take a greater or a larger commitment later on in a different marketing piece.